so much for being here today. I know the circumstances are a bit unusual, but I'm glad to see that so many friends and library supporters were able to join us. I'd like to take a moment to thank a few of the many, many people whose hard work and support have allowed us to make our dream of creating a library annex a reality. I'd like to start by thanking Mayor Michael Gonnelli and our town council, town administrator, and all of their staff, who supported the library staff and me every step of the way. I'd also like to thank our library board president, Patricia Guma, Vice President Joe Millivoy, Secretary Jacqueline Tuzio, Treasurer Michael Pesci, Joseph Kane, Anna Levin, Raj Partisani, Bart Riley, Keith Scaglione, and the Superintendent of Schools, Jennifer Montesano. Our Friends of the Library organization and their president, Karen Luskin, Bill Hayes, Kenneth Christopher, Louis Riviero, and all of our new neighbors here at Exchange. The Secaucus DPW, especially Lou Minervini and the library's custodial staff, Ray Chechu, and their department head, Kevin O'Connor, and everyone who helped us transform this space from a fitness center and a lounge to the beautiful library it's become. That includes our local artists, Melissa Dargan and Doug DePice, who created the enchanting mural that is in our new children's room, and everyone at Secaucus Smith Studios, who helped us design and furnish the space. I'd also like to thank project manager Alex Wurst, as well as the town's IT staff and consultants. I'd also like to acknowledge the unwavering dedication of our new branch manager, Lisa Machno, and the entire staff of the Secaucus Public Library, who've put an incredible effort into creating this annex, while also continuing to provide an array of programs and services at our main library, and more recently, online. We also have a few guests here today representing our regional and statewide library community. I'd like to recognize Patricia Tumulty, our Executive Director of the New Jersey Library Association, and Jean Marie Ryan, the second Vice President of the NJLA Executive Board, whose advocacy efforts have benefited so many New Jersey libraries and communities, including ours. I'd also like to thank Dave Hanson, the Executive Director of Buckles, and the tireless staff of the Buckles office for their assistance in getting the new annex up and running and fully integrated with Buckles community and their technology systems. And of course, I cannot stand here without recognizing and thanking Katherine Steffens, who led our library into the 21st century. Kathy, your vision and commitment to the people of Secaucus guided the building and operating of our new library in 2003. You made one that was accessible to all, a bright, welcoming space for our community organizations and individuals, with a focus on providing state-of-the-art computer access, business and jobs skills resources, and an expanded children's and young adult services for our community. Our library thrived and grew under Kathy's direction, so much so that we are able to stand here today and celebrate the opening of a new, much-needed branch of that library. This annex is very much inspired by Kathy's concept of the public library as a community hub and her love of library services for children and young people. It's such a pleasure to know that it will always carry her name. Opening a new library is always, but especially right now, an act of hope. It's an investment in our potential as individuals and as a community and as a society. We tend to focus often on the practicalities offered by public libraries: computer skills training and workforce development, early reading programs and meeting spaces, and fiscally responsible resource sharing, all of which are absolutely vital and express the value of our communities and libraries in concrete terms and measurable results. But I hope that we also see libraries as purveyors of inspiration and spaces where imaginations are encouraged to roam. Imagination is essential in devising a better future, and it is fed with stories and art, facts and ideas and explorations. 6 months ago, Melissa and Doug, the artists who created our children's department mural, wrote on the wall, "What we need are more people who specialize in the impossible." It's a quote by an American poet, Theodore Roethke, and when I first saw it, I thought, well, that's very in keeping with the fairy tale theme we decided on, and it's almost Dr. Seussian, and it fit really well. But over the past few months, It's become increasingly less whimsical to me and more true. I hope that those who use the library, children and adults alike, find something within this modest space that inspires them as well to specialize in the impossible. On that note, I'd like to turn our celebration over to someone who is very much known for doing his best to make impossible things happen for the residents of our town. When I first started talking to the mayor about the direction of our library and what should happen over the next few years, back all the way in April of 2019, he encouraged me to think big. And I thought of something that seemed impossible, a branch library at the Exchange. And he made it happen. I'd like to thank Mayor Michael Gonnelli and invite him now to speak.
Thank you, Jen. I'm going to be really short. I'd like to thank everybody that did that. So I'm not going to go through that whole thing, but Kathy, this is your place. Kathy, we all love you from the bottom of our hearts. All of us really love everything that you did, everything that you're going to continue to do, and this is the place that's named after you. So,
thank you.
Listen, I'm talking to you, Kathy. I'm not looking at anybody else. This is really your place, and it really is. You're going to live a long time. You're going to live a long, long time. My wife is almost as old as you. Not that far behind. So please, get down here. I think the library is going to open, Jen.
Monday. 4 to 8 will be our first hours.
That'll be great, and this will be open on Monday. But this whole COVID thing that hit, we had a delay. We were planning on opening in April. We're in August now. But it's open, and that's all that counts. Kathy, on behalf of myself and the entire council, thank you so much. We love you with all our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a beautiful day to be here. A little hot, but it's a beautiful day to open up a library. I want to just take a moment and say, you know, one of the things that we celebrate, and one of the things that I bring thankful for, is from all the other members of Buckles. There's 77 member libraries in the Buckles family that I represent today and say congratulations on doing this. Because when we do this, one of the things that is true is we don't do anything alone, right? The libraries represent, I know there's a great saying, you know, it takes a community or it takes a village to raise a kid, but it takes a village to have a public library. It takes a visionary, it takes a library board, it takes a municipal board to have the wherewithal to decide this is a great and powerful thing to do for your community. It also takes a leader, and I want to just take a moment and say thank you to Jen. Jenifer has led through what is a crazy time to try to open a library. So let's give Jenifer a round of applause. I don't want to take too much time, but I want to just remind you what the promise of a public library really is. You know, as Jen said, this is a time when we wake up every day and there's a lot of uncertainty around. And it's a time when we question what the future actually holds. And I'm going to tell you right now that that's exactly why public libraries exist. Because when somebody walks into a public library and they open up that browser, they find the future. When they open up the book that they're going to read something new about, they find the future. And so today, what we do is we open up a door to all of that. And we open up a door to all of that because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the future we want. And that's what we celebrate today. Congratulations on your new branch. This is an amazing day, and have a great celebration.
Thank you, Dave. And then there's one more person that I would really love to introduce, and that is our new branch manager, Lisa Machno.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today for this grand opening. Finally, it's here. Kathy, we're super excited. Again, my name is Lisa Machno. I'm the branch manager. First, I would like to say thank you to everyone who was involved in this project. Getting it up and running, it took a lot of hard work and collaboration, and you had a great team, so very happy. This was a wonderful opportunity to work on this project, and it's been a pleasure to work together with Mayor Gonnelli, Jenifer May, the DPW, the library staff, and our town tech team as well. Couldn't have done it without you. Turning the space into a library annex has been far more gratifying than any project I've ever worked on, and I feel honored to be a part of it. I'm excited to finally open our doors to the community, and we all know how important libraries are, the reason we're here today. This branch will offer services that the Secaucus community has come to know and love, and a few new ones as well. We look forward to offering new story times for children, such as a sensory story time and a pajama story time, which will take place in our enchanting new children's area. It's absolutely beautiful. It is a really beautiful room, and we've had a lot of fun designing it. And we will also host virtual story times as well for the children. This annex also hosts one of our most popular virtual programs, our weekly interview series with Jeffrey, which will continue to be filmed here. Library patrons will have access to digital services and new technologies, such as our laptop kiosk, where patrons can check out a laptop and use them here in-house. And they have a mobile checkout service and a remote printing service, just to name a few. So we really have so much to offer the Secaucus community, and we can't wait for you to see what we have in store. Thank you all, and I hope you visit us soon. And now, it's my esteemed honor and pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Katherine Steffens, our namesake.
I'm really feeling it, that I can't hug and kiss each and every one of you. I have to say, didn't the board make a great decision when they hired Jenifer May? She was a kid, but such a brilliant young lady, so I'm very thankful, Jen. You've done a great job. There's nothing I could ever say other than, wow, you've done it. This is amazing, and this is like a continuation to me that libraries should exist. There were so many people who told me before we built the second library, oh, books, nobody's going to be reading books anymore, they'll all be on the computer. And I thought this was a couple of my own board members, so we had to really fight to show that we were busy, and you know we were busy, those of you who were around during the construction of the old library. And we did the best we could. We went from a library with 4 donated computers from one of the industries here in town that didn't really work because they had passcodes on them and they wouldn't share them. But I had them in the building, so we did have a few. And then we went to 69 computers in the new library, which was on Patterson Plank Road. I don't know what we'll call that now. The middle library? This is the new library. This one's going to be up and jumping, just as I know every program is up and jumping. I've been doing it virtually. I watch when Jeffrey's doing his Friday night programming. Yes, last night, I was there watching. Susan was actually putting in her answers, but I did not, but I watched. And it was wonderful, and it's great foresight. And communities are judged by their libraries, not just their police departments and their boards of education. If you go to a community and you see that the library is sorely provided with funds, there's just not enough. They're laying people off, they're doing this, we're hiring people here. I say we're as if it's me. But it's wonderful to see that in this community, we're recognized by Mayor Gonnelli and the Town Council, knowing how important libraries are. There's no should we or could we, it's when do we do it and how do we do it. I would imagine this is the first of maybe more to come, because this town is very desirable. And every person that works in the community is allowed to use the public library as if they did live here. So they can borrow the books and the videotapes and anything that they want to. Committed use the computers. So we expand sure what it is now, you know, how things are going. But all those people committed, it's just wonderful. And to have Buckles here today, I remember the day we signed the contract. And even my own staff, some of them thought, this is never going to happen. And boy, we did it. And we got them into this new building over here on Patterson Plank Road, which is now filling too much. Jen, I was under, I'll just say, a misconception when we built the other library that we could do a third floor. I guess I squawked so much that they just told me, yes, we can do it. It wasn't Mayor Gonnelli, he wouldn't have done it. But I wanted to open the doors in the Panasonic room. Everybody donated. The Friends of the Library. I founded that group, and I'm so proud of them that they're still working and honoring wishes of what the library needs and what they want to add to it. So I'm not one of those short speakers, but I'm going to end it and say, this is the third building now. The first one was in the old town hall, that was little. They started out with 8 tables and 16 chairs, and that was it. There was no computers in those days. And they managed and they thrived, and they waited and waited and waited to get another building. The one they share with Engine Company number 1, or did share. We got along, they were good friends. They loaned us one of their rooms for meeting rooms. So that was what we needed when we went to the second library. And with Jen, I always say, and she knows my 2 words, stay relevant. And boy, did she. We got hit with this COVID, and every one of us is now doing everything virtually. So when we moved from building 1 to 2, we took 57,000 books. We were not yet in Buckles. And Robert White, who was the executive director at the time, came in and said, it's a very difficult job. You can pay us to do it, or you can try and do it yourselves. But we wanted to save money, so we did most of it ourselves. But Robert came in and did all the cataloging or his group. So that when we came here and I would ask, how many books do you think are in the library? We were over 1 million because we had all those libraries. I think in my day, it was 72 libraries. And you can borrow all of that. So we needed this, we got this. I am so honored that my name is on it. I'd like a little smaller because I don't like it. But I am just honored because it's proof that libraries are so important. And communities that donate the funds and the time and the place to their library staff and listen to what they have to say is a community that's desirable for parents with children and the parents themselves. I took an art class with you, Doug, not long ago from my bedroom. Never thought I would be able to do that. I didn't have that access then. But boy, was it wonderful. It was wonderful. So, and Jeffrey interviewed me, and I didn't do a good job. I was only halfway through when I got my citizenship award. So I told him when we started, I'm a talker. Give me a library of people that listen, I'll talk. But I will end it and say thank you to all of you for being library lovers as I am. And thank you to Mayor Council, the Library Board of Trustees, Jenifer especially, Doug, and everything that you guys did to make this a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Now we're going to move on to the ribbon cutting portion of our afternoon.